Okay, all you devils out there, how's it going? Here we are, Friday the 20th. Lo and behold, Bitcoin, what about 1,200 bucks from our all-time high. It's so. I had this conversation with a few members, and senseis, it feels so different this time. I was here when that happened. It was such mania over here, and this has been kind of ho hum, right? Okay, well, yeah, of course we're going to take out the high, and on we go. Interesting. So it doesn't have that same feeling of mania that we did over here, which I think is very encouraging. Now, that's not to suggest that we're not likely to see some sort of a pullback, and certainly for anyone who's either not long or perhaps not as long as they would like, I think that's a positive. And we have to recognize that, with a vertical move like this, the farther we go without any kind of a decent retracement, or maybe decent is the wrong word, but a significant retracement. Let's say even a 38, a third of it retraced. The farther we go without that retrace, the bigger the potential correction it sets up. Right? Look left. So let's be conscious of that. Is that these vertical moves often have it's cause and effect, right? If we go up so far without a correction, boy, what can follow that can be significant. Now, different time, right? Different times. The fundamentals are different. The background is different. The landscape across the globe is different. The printing presses are different. So it's not an apples to apples, but just in terms of the psychology of market participants, it's the temptation here to take profit is significant. And so now, long-term hodlers, professionals here are not going to be spooked out by the slightest little retracement. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm going to reference. I don't know this guy, but he's got a fairly big following over on Twitter. Let me see if I can find. This is a great quote. I guess so. Again, crypto bull. I don't know him, but I mean, this is a good statement he made, and this is really, I think, the best way to think about Bitcoin. Now we're going to look at the TA and go into the detail, right? So I mean, there's value there, but this is what Crypto Bull had to say, and I liked this, and I just wanted to draw this to your attention. But this kind of sums up Bitcoin beautifully. And his quote was, "Bitcoin never crashes. It only dips. You buy the dip and wait. Yes, it's that simple. Always has been." Right? Swing, dip, swing, dip, swing, dip. Right? So you just, if it dips, you buy it and then you hold. And it really is that simple. So kudos to Crypto Bull. That was just such a, I had to give him credit there. That was just so well put. Now that said, let's get back over here to our technical analysis here. And the question is, so what do you do, right? If you're not long already, well, that's a shame. But if you're not long or looking to get longer, right? So where is there an on ramp anytime soon, or do you have to buy it with just going vertically? Well, of course, you know what I'm going to tell you, that it's a dangerous time to buy. That doesn't mean that it can't just we could be at 50,000, by the end of the year. I mean, you just don't know. But just when they go this vertically like that, well, look at the RSI, right? I mean, this was the peak here in the RSI. I mean, we're pushing 93 here. Here's the last peak. So when we get up here, we don't have to make any deduction. We don't have to deduce anything here. We can just say, well, what did it do the last 4 times it got that high? What did it do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this one was relatively insignificant, right? But actually, look how far back we can go here at that level, at 93. Now, you'd have to bring it back here and put it into context, but just looking at these tops, right? You don't want to ignore that and go, well, it's different this time. We're just going to keep going straight. It's not going to correct this time. Careful of that, right? Again, I'm not saying a correction is imminent. I just, pay attention to what the market is telling you. It's shouting at you here. Okay. Now, that said, I'm about to lay on what I think may be the most bullish count well, it's certainly the most bullish count that I've proposed. It would be one of the more bullish. So let me show you how I'm getting there. So a couple of things to note here. So this is just keeping it drop dead simple, right? I've got a 3-day chart here, so we can see, well, you know, was fairly obvious, right? So between these two prior pivots that we might stall here. If we get through, and we've talked about this several times, right? If we get through, we really want to see that, right? That's the gift that you hope for. Even if it comes back down into this zone, right? That's the easy on ramp. All right, so let's pull this off here, right? Because we can just look at that, right? Now, it doesn't mean we're going to stall here, but you know, the other thing is here, look at the distance we are from the Vegas wave, right? Again, when we get that far, what tends to follow? Again, don't mistake what I'm saying here in that I'm still just a raging bull here. But that said, we got to respect what the market is telling us right here. So now I'm belaboring that point. So let's do a couple of things here. So here this is 100%. This is the 150, 200. So these all reasonable targets, and you can see how just insanely precise this has been on the way up. Just right. So remember, this is initially calculated from the first swing, right, and then we push up to the next 100, and that's if I get it right on there, right. So you can see, and then right up, right. No possible way that's human. That no possible way it's random, right. That's guaranteed. That's software. Okay, so all of that said, now I'm going to pull this. Well, let's just hide it here. So let's hide that here. Yeah, well, because this is kind of the practice I want you to be in here. So you don't want to just delete them, right? You just want to hide them. Now, you'll recall, let's see, here we are, our old friend here. All right, so this, you'll recall this Pitchfork here. Right, when we had the corner here and we got our corner pocket, right, and we got our 80% realized right here. Well, we hovered a little bit. Now, you could certainly make a case that would be a reasonable target if we're not going to come back and retest. But either way, this is a target we want to pay attention to. Well, if you sit here and you look at the range here, right, don't forget to consider this. We're going from, well, shit, you're kind of here, it doesn't really matter, but let's call it the mid threes. And we're at 18.5. Now, granted, we can see it all here in a 3-day chart, but we certainly have the distance here to warrant a look at this in log. Right? I mean, that's over a $15,000 move from this low. Yeah, I think we can go to log. Well, let's take a look at what happens here when we go to log. Look what's teed up here. Right, so the first thing you should note in log here, we've yet to make the median line. Right, so this would be a secondary 80%. This is like the bonus kicker, right? If you get the arithmetic and the log median line, bonus points. Now look here, right, looks like if this is just going to carry on a little bit further. Now, granted, this is a 3-day chart, but that pinging that, I mean, I've got an alarm on it when it tags that. Heads up, right? That doesn't mean we're doing this, but don't be surprised. Well, there's going to be volatility at the all-time high, right? Now, likely there's going to be fuel there. There'll be breakout traders. There'll be stops there. There'll be all sorts of volatility. Now, as to which way we go here, now, of course, remains to be seen. But this is not insignificant, right? So I'm about to lay on you an incredibly bullish count, but I just want to be aware of all the landmines that are along the way. I mean, this is a very reasonable place to anticipate we might see a little retrace. Again, but nothing says we couldn't just do this and then come back and test it, right? So that would, again, be kind of the gift you'd hope for, but that's going to require a big push here to get far enough away to make that retest significant. But I just draw your attention to this because that's, I mean, literally, like, just pretty clear bullseye. All right, so that said, let's, again, kind of the point I was making earlier here of don't take these off because it's easy to forget to, oh, shit, well, where's that Pitchfork? Yeah, just got to bring it back. Oh, did I look at that in log? Just little tips I can offer to you here. Keep them on. You never know when they're going to come back into play and might have some significance. All right, so all of that said here, let's go look at the count, which I've come up with here that I think is, well, if it's not the most bullish, it's certainly the most bullish that I've put out. Now, so if we look here, all right, we've been looking at this. So now I'm in arithmetic. We've been thinking 1, 2, and oh, look, we're off here. We're off to the 3. Well, if we look at that, 1, shallow 2, right? We're acknowledging we got to deal with this very shallow 2, and we're going up here and we're looking at these upper targets here. So in arithmetic, you look at your 1, 6, 1, 8 and say, okay, well that's 24,000. Shit, that'd be a beautiful third wave here relative to the 1, 2. It's right where we'd anticipate it. But slow your roll just for a minute here now. Consider this. Right now, if we work through this count, unless there's going to be yet another extension here that's going to require us to come back here and revisit it, very possible. But unless we're going to get that, I would propose to you that we're close to finishing here. Now, so of course, this is all just a big setup to where I'm going with this. Right? So if we're approaching that median line, right, and the all-time high. So here's the pivot. This is the body, and here's the pivot of the all-time high. So if we're coming right into this section right here, right as we hit that median line, you can make a pretty damn strong case here per the Elliott count that we're about to finish the 5th of the 5th of the 5th of the 5th of, well, I'm going to propose to you that's not going to be the 3. So if we pull back, let me go to an 8. What I'm suggesting here is we're about to finish the 1 of the 3. So if I put this in log scale, let's think about that, what that does to us. All right, so let's look here now and do some measuring. So my assumption is so look also at this channel, right? So coming up here, just framing it here. So we have the confluence of the all-time high, the center line of the median line of the pitchfork here, in log scale, and then yet again, I'm in log here, the upper parallel of the channel framing the 1 and the 2, although I'm using the outer edge here just to get the price. Right, so 1, 2, as far as I'm concerned, this looks to me like the easiest count here. What's the simplest explanation here? That this is about to be 1, 2, right, before we go 3. Of course, the other thing here is we've got the 618 of the length of the 1 projected from the 2. Also, nice, big, fat confluence zone right here. That's not going to be the 3. Certainly, if you look in log scale, no possibility. Well, right, if we had a mini, again, 3 doesn't have to be the longest, just can't be the shortest. But considering the raging bull that we're in, I'm willing to bet heavily that that's not the 3. That's the 1 of the 3. So what are we looking for here? We're looking for 3 down, right, to get up into the 3 of the 3 of the monster. So that would be worth waiting for. Now, you say, oh, well, shit, what if it doesn't come? Well, of course, that's always the risk. But I think if we start to map this out, let's get some targets here. Just to, all right, call it bull porn, right? But it's not without, technical significance here to approach it in this way. So from the COVID low, 1, 2, well, where's my 3 here? My high probability zone here in log scale is putting me up at 65, 6 is the 1618. Let's split the difference here, right? Call it 70K. 72, actually, 72K. If this is 1, 2, and we're going for 3 in log scale, that's 72K. So no way that's anything but the 1, right? We're going to do this. Right there. That's what I'm for. That's what I'm going to trade. That's what I'm anticipating. Excuse me. So if we're about to finish here, which you can make a pretty strong case for that, if I bring this back up here, well, if that's going to finish the 1 of the 3, well, where's our next opportunity to trade? Right? We're just going to, I'm going to just go ahead and use, well, let's assume we get through the all-time high. Let's use the 618 here. And now let me get my measure move back on here. So where would that put us, right? So then I just look here, and this is something I'll often do here. Before I get there, I just want to kind of, just out of curiosity, so I'm going to take a horizontal line, just put it right on the 50. I'm going to take another one, put it right on the golden zone, right? So if in just our dream scenario, what could we hope for? Is that if we got a 3, that if heavy emphasis on if we pivot up here and we get that turn, right? If we come back down here, we're here at the 50 golden zone. If we come back into that zone, well, what's there? Well, the obvious one, right, is the 1, or the golden zone, kicking here close to the 1. Obviously, this would be a huge negative, right? Then we're reevaluating the whole thing, right? We'll cross that bridge. What is that? $7,000 lower, right? If we're faced with that, we'll reevaluate. That would be about 8K lower. If we're doing that, something dramatic has happened. Something very significant has caused the market to turn. Right? Again, this is what, not that it's not possible, but this is what I would be looking for, and this would be worth waiting for. Now you're going to say, God damn it, man, I want to get in now. I want now. Well, right, so... All right, so we got to look at that and say, well, then, so where's the trade, right? So if we get the pivot here and we start to come down, right? Are you gonna try and trade the C there? Do you want to be shorting Bitcoin? I wouldn't. I almost never do. So as far as I'm concerned, if we start to come down here and we start to pivot off of this for all those reasons, we got the RSI at 93, we got all the technical influence. We start to come down here. I'm literally down here with all the money I can muster to try and get in between, let's call it 14 and 12 and 13. Let's call it 14 to 13. Now let's just, out of curiosity, see what we run into there. Would we hit any structure there? Right, would this make sense to look at it this way? Right, just working off the prior structure there. This would be the gift of the. Well, that would be something to pay attention to, right? That's back the motherfucking truck up right there. You have to buy that. If you've ever watched my videos before, if you're a member, you cannot let that pass you by, right? Put a stop on it, get on the other side, right? It's very clear where to be out, right? If we take out that pivot, well, okay, we'll reevaluate. But if that opportunity is given, right, that's the gift of the year, right? So for all the trouble, let's just say it that way, we've all gone through in 2020, right? If that is offered at the end of 2021, that, holy shit, is that setting up for a spectacular 2021? That's such a substantial opportunity if that's offered. I don't know what else I can put in front of you. Now, we're not there yet. So let's slow down. But right, just looking at all the confluence there here. Look at the channel. Look at the prior structure. There's a 50. There's the golden zone. I can complete an impulse here. So 1, 2 into the 1, bring me back for the 2. Now, I know, right? So we're sitting here in November, what did I say it was? November 20th. And we could be, shit, that could be, well, shit, right there. That's December 20th. Talk about a Christmas present. Now, we're not there yet. So I know it's like, okay, fuck, man. All right, show me this video when we get there. Well, you got to have a roadmap. You got to have a plan. An opportunity like that, if it's presented, not many in your lifetime are you going to get like that. Not many. Maybe you got a few. But in Bitcoin, that's one to pay attention to. All right, how am I doing on time? Okay, so I think the only additional, let's get over here. Let's go down to the hourly here. Might be worth just going through this. Now here, when we're in this range here, there's no need to be in log, right? Because I'm looking at the range from 9.7. Well, shit, I mean, you could, right? I mean, you've got enough distance here, you could, but you don't need to be in log when you zoom back in here to work through this count. So I think we've got a completed count here. So it's 1, 2. This could be counted a couple of different ways, 3, 4, but I think we're pushing for 5 there to complete off of this 2. Yet again, implies that it would be the 1, right? It's clearly an impulse. And all the subdivision is there. In fact, there's so much subdivision. The worry here is that we're going to subdivide again, and that this 3 is going to push up here, and it's going to keep going. Would love, right? What a gift that would be to get the opportunity to get this retrace and then long it. That's one, right? You don't need to lever that. You don't lever that. You take whatever, your capital you can responsibly allocate to Bitcoin, and you buy it and you fucking hold. Right? Get back to me in 5 years. Okay, guys, what else do I got? I think that's it. I don't know what else to add there other than right now, if you're not long, you're waiting. It's the hardest part of trading. The hard part is the waiting, right? Waiting for the opportunity. You got to wait for that. Right? If you're not in, or if you're looking for the next long. Now, I'm down on a 1 hour. Is there going to be other opportunity here? Well, you want to trade the if right? If we get an A, you want to trade into the B? Well, shit. I mean, nothing says it couldn't do that. I think you wait for a clear 3 and you pounce all over it. I don't know how to get any better than that. All right, I don't think there's much else I can add there other than we'll see members. I'll be back. We'll look at the S&P here. We'll kind of look at that trade that I've been in and just get a little analysis on what's going on in the craziness, and well, at least here in the U.S. in our markets and our situation here. How about say it that way? Just a reminder here for guys that are watching, right? You can always join us for free in our Discord. There's a link. I've started putting these underneath the video. If you're on YouTube here, you can always watch that. Grab that link that's directly underneath the video in the description. That will drop you into our Discord. Of course, it's totally free. That will drop you in where you're going to see 2 pages, and they are, a welcome and then how to set up your account, because you can't get access to any of the information until you create your account on the website. That's how you link your account with the Discord to get you access to all the content. And the white belt, which I remind you is totally free. So that's, if there was ever a time to be honing in on your TA skills, this would be it. So there you go. What else? Probably got a Black Friday deal coming, just like so many. That's something to look for. People often really take advantage of that. So that should be coming. We'll probably start talking about that next week. There you go. 21 minutes. That's one of the shortest ones I've done in a while, but I don't, this is just, it's worth waiting for. How about we say it that way? All right, guys, there you go. And I will be back to you later.